Are you kidding me? Caitlin Clark? I seriously can't believe it, everybody. I can't believe it. But star women's basketball phenom, Caitlin Clark, has gone woke. I honestly, for a second, believed that the WNBA was changing for the better. I thought they would push away all this racial divide to try and uplift the people that are watching by using someone such as Caitlin Clark to bring joy into the league. Boy, do I feel stupid. As Forrest Gump used to say, a stupid is as stupid does. I fell for it, and I'm sure a lot of you out there did the exact same thing. Before we jump into why she has decided to bend the knee for the woke feminists of the WNBA, let's give credit when credit is due. Caitlin Clark has been named the 2024 Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, and well deserved. Clark is one hell of a basketball player, and what she did for the WNBA last season is something to recognize. Not only is Caitlin Clark an outstanding ball player, but she brought something to the league that the WNBA has never seen before. And what was that? Fans, viewership, and ultimately, more money for the organization and the players in it. During last season, even though Caitlin Clark brought a fan base that improved the league, a bunch of players just couldn't handle the fact that a white woman was receiving all this publicity and they weren't. They were jealous of her talent and envious of her fans and viewership. That's a fact. Even though these players and the liberal media continuously came out and said the only reason Caitlin Clark was receiving publicity was because she is a white, pretty, and tall woman, Caitlin Clark was able to keep her composure and let her play do the talking. She showed the world that the reason people watched her was because her style of play is something the WNBA has never seen before. We've heard she's the Stephen Curry of the WNBA. Stephen Curry, by the way, is half black and half white, and no one has ever told him that he has white privilege, have they? Very interesting thought, but moving back on to Caitlin Clark. She's just an all-around exciting player to watch. She never brought up race or skin color. She just kept playing her game, answered to the media with respect, and showed respect to her teammates and the rest of the league as well. Well, apparently now, Clark's popularity is not because of her play. It is because of her skin color. According to Caitlin Clark herself, when she was interviewed by Time Magazine, she stated, "I want to say I've earned every single thing, but as a white person, there is privilege. A lot of those players in the league that have been really good have been black players. This league has kind of been built on them. The more we can appreciate that, highlight that, talk about that, and then continue to have brands and companies invest in those players that have made this league incredible, I think it's very important. The more we can elevate black women, that's going to be a beautiful thing." So maybe Caitlin Clark has always been woke and kept her mouth shut during the season since politics are very controversial, especially this year. Maybe Caitlin voted for Kamala Harris because she's a black woman and wanted to make sure that the majority of players in the league, which are black, in fact, 63.8% of players are black, just to be exact, she felt that those players had to have their token white girl that they can push around like they did all season long when they threw her to the floor game after game. I mean, maybe, just a maybe. I don't know for sure, but I wouldn't be surprised if that was the case. Or maybe, just maybe, she's finally caved into the liberal agenda pressure. Caitlin Clark, I don't think you know what you just did. You think you were trying to be a voice for black players in the league. But guess what? These players don't want you to speak up for them because they only want to speak up for themselves, as they continuously have shown season after season, where they constantly complain, bitch, and moan about how they are not receiving publicity because of the color of their skin. Oh, or because they are women in general. Do we forget that just a few years ago, these girls were complaining that they should be receiving equal pay, meaning compared to the men in the NBA? But since that was debunked and everyone knows that's ridiculous, they now push racism. Caitlin Clark, it will never be enough. It will never be enough for these ladies. The color of your skin has nothing to do with the growing popularity of the league, Caitlin Clark. Your different style of play and how you handle yourself on and off of the court is why little girls and fans from all kinds of backgrounds flock to you, and not because of the color of your skin. Fans don't want to listen to players whining and complaining about racism that isn't happening. They want to hear a woman who's going to inspire them and make them feel powerful, rather than listen to players who keep on telling little black girls that they will always be oppressed because of the color of their skin. Caitlin Clark, you just spat in the face of little girls everywhere. You are now telling little girls that because they are white, they have more privilege than the black girls they might compete against. So even though there might be a white girl who scores 20 points per game and is unstoppable, while a black girl on the opposing team only scores maybe 5 points per game, you're saying that white girl should feel bad for that black girl who's only scoring 5 points per game because of the color of her skin. So what's the solution, Caitlin, in the WNBA? Should the white girl not score 20 points per game anymore? Should she drop it to 15 points per game or 10 points per game and hand the opposing black girl the ball to score an additional 2 points a game to keep the game closer? What other handouts should white girls give to black girls in order to make it fair and not privileged? Caitlin Clark, you're 22 years old, so you're still learning how the world works. You're a great person from what I can see, and you seem to care a lot about people. And I understand you just don't want to hurt people's feelings. But what you have to learn is that this isn't going to stop. The people who act like they are oppressed will never have enough. They will always want more. And the way they get it is by making people feel bad for them until they give in and buy into the false narratives they have pushed. That's what you have done, Caitlin Clark. How does it feel to kneel to women who are not as good as basketball as you are? Does it feel respectful? Were the other WNBA players respectful to you when they called your fans a bunch of racists? Were they respectful to you when they continuously fouled you by throwing you to the floor, purposely poking you in the eye, smacking you across the face and head, and to top it all off, pushing a racist narrative revolving around you? Because that sounds very disrespectful and racist to me. But nobody in the league or media is saying that this is racist. So would that be called black privilege? But what do I know? The only time I get on my knees is to pray to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, and not Asia Wilson, Brittany Griner, Alyssa Thomas, Angel Reese, or the other 63.8% of the league that is black. You know what? Since we are on the topic of privilege, how about we just make everything fair and go ahead and say that all the women in the WNBA are privileged because they have the opportunity to make money by putting a ball through a hoop for a living. You all are the small minority of women in this country who are talented enough to play in arenas, be aired on TV, and be pampered by the media because you are the most talented women's basketball players in the world. Think of all the girls that didn't make the WNBA. I guess we should start feeling bad for them now too. Oops, sorry. Unless they're white, of course. Maybe we should start giving those girls a chance to play in the WNBA, and you ladies who take it for granted, step aside and complain somewhere else, like on The View, MSNBC, or any other shitty news stations that are going under. I'm sure we would be just fine without you, considering before Caitlin Clark arrived, the WNBA was hemorrhaging money and was never able to make a profit due to their lack of viewership and ticket sales. Which takes me to my last point, Caitlin Clark. White girls have played in this league since 1997. Why hasn't the league been popular until you showed up? In fact, star players such as Diana Taurasi, Sue Bird, Lauren Jackson, Alina Deladon, Brianna Stewart, Katie Smith, Lindsay Wallen, Becky Hammon, and Penny Taylor are considered part of the WNBA's top 25 best players of all time. Why wasn't the league booming with fans, viewership, and money when these girls were in their prime? Why was it that when you showed up, Caitlin Clark, people started flocking to the games and not these other white girls? I'll say it one more time. It's because you were a generational talent, Caitlin Clark. You are something different that the people have never seen before. You're a woman that has a unique talent in the game that can shoot a three from half court, make full court passes for assists, and keeps the fans involved by showing you care for them. That has nothing to do with your skin color and has everything to do with your talent for the game. I'm calling it now, everybody. I'm calling it right now. The Caitlin Clark saga is over. She's a coward, and the viewership that we saw last year will go down, and there will not be as many fans in the seats. Clark, you sold yourself to wokeism, and in case you didn't learn from the rhyme, you go woke, you go broke. Just like when Target, Bud Light, and Disney lost billions of dollars when they went woke. Maybe going woke has given you and your family a little extra cash for the long run, but your little white privilege stunt did not help out the league. Players will continue to mooch and try to get whatever they can from you because you have bent the knee. Maybe once you get back up and take your knee pads off, you can get back to doing what you were meant to do in this world. And it's not being an activist. It's being a role model for little girls everywhere. When you tell white girls they are privileged and black girls they are oppressed, you will continue to be part of the problem.